In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit a man who calls himself the holder of ambition. The sound that escapes the mouth of the worker will be so slight and betray so little reaction that you may not be sure there was even a reaction at all. They will lead you towards a stair that only travels upwards and is lit by many windows. At the top of these stairs, the worker will leave you to travel the hallway alone, and the calm of the window-lit hallway will seem eerie and unsettling. Should you see a shadow travel along the wall, do not follow it, for it is the one thing that will lead you wherever you do not wish to go, to a place that you can't hope to return from, to a place of your own silent fears and failures. No matter what form it takes, how it teases and taunts your dreams with the greatest of your desires and hopes, do not even let your eyes tempt you to where it leaves. If you make it to the end of the hallway without losing sight of your goal, you will see an open doorway with no locks, no bolts, and no restraints, waiting for you with a soft light. If you choose not to enter it, only walk directly back the way you came without attempting to peek around or into other doors, or you will be met with a shadow and what it hides. Should you enter the doorway, you will find a room lit by windows that cover the entire length of the wall, too high to reach and shining with a light that seems less natural than the sun and moon. In the centre of the room will be a tall, healthy-looking man standing naked and looking into the light. His body is covered with uncountable tattoos and scars, where none of his skin is recognisable as it was, other than his face. Should you look where he looks, you will see nothing and learn nothing. He will react to no act or words other than the question, what joins them together? The man will turn to you, look you in the eyes. Do not meet his gaze, or you will lose yourself in his soulless eyes for eternity, if you are not prepared. If you can meet his gaze without the slightest doubt of your intention, he will begin to speak in a low tone, speaking almost as if his entire story is comical or means nothing at all. But you must not miss a word, for taking this knowledge partially could cause failure in the worst way possible. When he finishes speaking, he will reach for his chest and remove the remaining sutures from one of his noticeable scars and begin to bleed profusely. While he slowly bleeds to death, he will reach out to you with his bloody sutures. His last words may be heard through his own gurgling blood. Choosing to seek leads to an inevitable fate. This group of sutures is object 10 of 538. How you use them depends on what you hear. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of life. The worker will try to suppress a groan, and you will have to ask again. He will then lead you to an operating room that looks just like any other you might or might not have seen in your life. The worker will give you a scalpel and then leave you alone in the room, locking the door behind him. You will have to wait for almost an hour. Then the door will open and several people will enter the room, including a pregnant woman. The woman will lie down on the operating table. The other people, who will look like doctors, will prepare everything for the child's birth. While they do that, you will be able to ask the woman one question. Ask, how can they be reassembled? Nothing else, or the doctors will begin to skin and disassemble you. You will be fully conscious while they do this. If you have asked the right question, the woman will begin to scream. The child is about to be born. You'll have to wait until it's over, and one of the doctors will give you the child, moving his mouth but without sound coming from his lips. As soon as he finishes talking and smiles, you'll have to throw the child to the ground and ram the scalpel into its head, or else it'll smash your ribcage and rip your heart out with inhuman strength. If you have thrown the child to the ground, it will, despite the scalpel in its head, answer the question you have asked earlier. It'll speak with a demonic voice that might drive you mad. While it is talking, the other people in the room will vanish without leaving a trace. After the child finishes talking, it will simply die and the door of the room will unlock. You are now free to go, if you've not been driven mad by the voice. The dead baby is object 11 of 538. Dare you not remove the scalpel? In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the Holder of Death. The worker's face will turn white as if he just saw a ghost. He will then guide you to a wooden door and leave you afterward. You will have to knock thrice. Should you hear the old man saying, "Come," you may enter and will find yourself in a forest. If you hear a young man say, "No thank you," then run. Run and leave the city, the country as fast as you can, for unspoken evil will haunt you, should you stay. Now that you are in a forest, look up to the sky. If it is day, follow the sun. If it is night, follow the moon. Follow them, and do not leave the path you have taken, no matter what kinds of beauty or horror you might see. Should you ever leave the path, your soul will be tormented for eternity after the body has died a horrible death. You will, after some time, notice that you are walking to a mansion. Ignore it. Keep walking, for it is an illusion made to confuse you. Finally, you will reach a small wooden hut. Enter the hut and immediately turn around should you desire to ever live, unless you believe you can survive the sheer horror you will experience by looking at the man who now is behind you. Ask him the question, what will end them? He will begin to talk with a voice that is gentle and kind, as well as brutal and deadly. Listen carefully to what he says, as you might soon be the only one knowing their destiny. As soon as the man finishes his small tale, he will ask you to turn around, as he wants to give you a gift. Do not do this. Instead, walk backwards until you reach something hard, a desk. Close your eyes and partially turn your body so you can reach out to the man and take the gift. When it touches your hand, close it and walk back to the door you came from. As you open it, say the words, "We will meet another day," and walk out. You will be back in the mental institution. Now open your hand and look at the gift. The bone finger is object 12 of 538.